Ian, we're speaking off camera there about tonight's performance, and you're saying a lot to be pleased about. Tell us a wee bit about that.
Yeah, I felt we played really well. It took us maybe 5-10 minutes to get going in the game, but once we found our groove, really good. I thought our movement first half was really good. We just maybe lacked that final third sharpness, which I said on Saturday is always the hardest part, but it will come. Second half I thought we kind of dominated the game, we dominated the ball. Probably deserved more goals in the game for our performance, but really happy with the boys. We've got more minutes in their legs, more fitness for them. We left a couple of guys on the bench for reasons, Liam Dick and Ross Matthews in particular, just because they've had a wee bit of ankle pain in the last couple of days, so we want to look after them.
Tell us about the bits that impressed yourself the most. What were the bits that the players executed best from the game plan?
Yeah, I think the movement was superb, to be honest. Lewis Stevenson coming in on one side, Kieran Freeman on the other. The energy, the second half in particular, to get the ball back was superb. Probably comes from our captain. When he comes on, he just drives us forward with and without the ball. They were playing a back three, and sometimes we changed it to a 4-2-3-1 in the second half, and we're always going to do that. But sometimes I think when in a back three, they find it easier to play against two strikers than the one striker. So it was good to see that as well, and I thought that really helped Jack second half.
We're always asked when we're off on the club TV perspective of what's the formation, as if it remains static for the 90 minutes, but there seemed to be an enormous amount of fluidity across the formation.
Yeah, really good. I think we've got players that are comfortable going in areas of the park. It's really important. If you get we'll use the wing position, if you play a winger and he doesn't want to go back the way, then you're in a bit of bother and you can be a bit one-dimensional. You've got guys like Sean Byrne, Scott Brown, Dylan Easton, Lewis Gibson on the left-hand side first half, Callum Smith, who they all want to go all over the place because they want to get touches of the ball. So as long as they're moving, and when they're moving out of position, someone else is filling in, then there's no problem. But their appetite and hunger to be in the team and to take the ball and keep possession was fantastic. And I think you see with the experience we've now got within the squad, again, Shawnee Burns, Ewan Murray's, Paul Hanlon's, Lewis Stevenson, we're looking okay.
Pre-season, the sharpest eyes are always on the new additions. We could pick up on a couple of them, and what caught my eye, particularly in the first half, was Lewis Gibson. He arrives not only match ready but first team ready, doesn't he?
Oh yeah, he's ready. He's played at this championship level before. He obviously dropped down to League One with Queens, which happens, but he always felt, even 2-3 years ago, he was doing really well. He's got no fear. He's in good shape. He's coming there after the game asking me for a little bit of advice on something. So he wants to learn, and that's what we're here to do. Help players if they don't understand something or they're not quite sure about something. We're here to help them. So we'll go over all that with him. But yeah, he's certainly. I look around our squad, Davey, and I just look at all the good players we've got. I'm not saying my job's easy because it's very difficult and stressful sometimes. But when I've got guys like Paul, Bruni, Sean, Muzza, Liam Dix, Ross Matthews, Vonnie still to come back in as well, Sam Stanton, great to see him back tonight, then they go and take care of business for you.
I looked at that bench and looked at half time there as they were going through their warm-ups and warm-downs and such, and there's kind of half a dozen players who were the positive, productive backbone of our team last season. It strikes me that one of the challenges you're going to have is keeping our squad happy.
Of course it will be. It's like that all the time. It's very difficult. I think the players understand though, and preached enough about it last year when I changed it a lot, that it's not, if you're on the bench, it's not because you're a bad player, far from it. I see this very much as a squad game all the time. I think you look at the Euros even that's on TV now, it's a squad game. You have to be ready when called upon. You have to support your teammates. Yeah, there's disappointments in football, of course there will be, but everybody, I'm pretty sure, has got a huge part to play in our season ahead.
You're telling me on Saturday that I'm going to have to work really hard in the coming weeks to get a long interview out of Kai Montague, so I'm going to ask you the questions about him that we were chatting about. He seems to offer a dynamic where he's just keen to go, he's keen to turn, good awareness of space round about him, and he's happy to drive with the ball.
Yeah, excellent. A very positive player, as you saw in his 15 minutes there. Gets the ball in the turn and looks to drive forward. For a 17-year-old who's new to the club, it's great to see. He's going to get better as well. He's got really good pace. He's got raw pace, which is great. He's a technical player, so he's one that we hope to improve. Again, we have to probably look at longevity of Kai in terms of how do we get him enough game time to actually improve. It's training with us every day is great, and he will get better, but games are what people need to get better at football. So we'll maybe have a look at the loan market for him towards the end of the window. But in saying that, he's showing great promise this evening, good potential, and we're enjoying working with him.
You happy with the wider fitness of the squad, game 2?
Yeah, really happy. They came back in good shape. there's always going to be a bit of fatigue, possibly either towards the end of this week or the start of next week, just with the 3 games. We've managed it really well, though. Delighted again to get through the game with no injuries. It's really, really important. But yeah, the players will come back. Credit to them. It's them that they have to go away for the holidays and come back in good condition, and then the staff work with them.
I promised I would get you up the road before hypothermia sets in. This summer football's quite something. Any final message for the Rovers supporters?
No, again, great support. With a fantastic support on Saturday, really good, very impressive actually. It's a tough time, people go on holiday and try to save some money to do that. We need them. We've always said it. We can't do anything without them. We're going to need all the backing we can get. We understand this is a completely different ball game for us this season. Perhaps people looking at us and wanting to get one over on us. So the more of us that are together, the better.
We continue to build these bridges between the support and the players with a strip launch tomorrow and an open training session on Friday. Something you enjoy?
Yeah, absolutely. It's great. It's the strip launch is always exciting for everybody, the supporters and the sponsors, and the strips are looking really, really, really good. Again, it's a wee change from last season, and then the open training session, absolutely fantastic. It's, school holidays are on, and hopefully we get as many fans as long as possible. Unfortunately, it'll be quite a short session because of the turnaround in the games. But yeah, it's fantastic that we can build relationships with supporters in the community.
Hope yourself, the players, your staff and all the fans enjoy that in the next couple of days, and we'll catch up with you soon.
Thank you.